Hello chess crowd! We are following with our playlist the best chess players in the world, and today we'll be talking about Joseph Henry Blackburn. Joseph Henry Blackburn was born in Manchester, England in 1841, and he died in 1924 at the age of 82. So you may have already heard of him in some book or in some classical games. So Joseph Henry Blackburn is always on the chess books for the classical games. So Joseph Henry Blackburn was a chess master and also a chess composer. So he was there and making problems, tactics, composing it. He was the strongest British player for many years and one of the strongest players in the world by that time. And he was very famous for giving simultaneous exhibitions blindfold. Okay, so he was not seeing anything, so blindfolded and playing against several people at the same time, and he really made his living from chess by doing these exhibitions and also by playing betting. So he was betting with people playing chess, and he was also known for popularizing the chess gambit, the Blackburn Shilling Gambit, and it has his name. It has this name because he was playing for shillings. That was the currency by that time in England. So that's why the name of this gambit is Blackburn, his name, Shilling, because of the shillings he was betting. Blackburn Shilling Gambit, which is a very dubious opening, a very dubious trap. Let's take a look at that. So because this is a gambit playing with the black pieces, let's see the board with the black pieces. So the white starts with e4, then e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop c4, the Italian opening. And now the Blackburn Shilling Gambit starts with knight d4. So very tempting move here is to capture the pawn when white will be attacking f7. So it's a bad move to capture this pawn. Actually, this is a dirty trick, dirty trap. The best move here for white is simply capturing the knight, and after pawn takes, this pawn is weak. White has already bishop developed and is ready to castle, and black is just behind in development. So it's not good opening, it's just a trash. But it's delicious because if your if your opponent goes for the pawn here on e5, then you can smile because then you're good here. You can continue with queen g5. That's the point here. So you're attacking the pawn, you're attacking the knight, and you're also offering another tempting pawn here on f7. So most of the times white will capture the pawn here on f7, forking the rook and the queen, and this is a bad move, a bad idea. At this point, white can still hold if he plays bishop to f7, then king to d8, and then castle, and let the knight to be captured, and you can go on and play like this with equal chances. Black is a piece up, but the king is exposed, development is bad, so you can play this, not bad with white pieces, but the problem is after queen to g5, most people will play knight to f7, and now black is winning. First, queen takes g2, so now you're attacking the rook. Most people will play rook to f1, but now this pawn is falling. You can capture it. Queen takes e4, and now the king is under attack. You're not going to cover this with the queen, so most of the times the opponent covers the check with the bishop, and then knight to f3 delivers a nice checkmate on move 7. So yeah, that's the Blackburn Shilling Gambit. He played this gambit to win some shillings. Blackburn was one of the top 5 players in the world from 1871 to 1889. He enjoyed a lot of success in international tournaments, always sharing the first places and getting good prices, earning good prices. His most significant result came in Vienna 1873 when he shared first place with Wilhelm Steinitz, former world champion. And during that tournament, he started to be called the Black Death. So Blackburn's nickname was Black Death. And let's see this game, Blackburn against Wilhelm Steinitz, which is considered the best game of his career. Let's go. Blackburn with the white pieces start with e4, e5 from Steinitz, knight f3, knight c6, knight c3, the three knights opening, and now black has the opportunity to develop the fourth knight, so it would be the four knights opening, but here Steinitz preferred to go with g6, maybe with ideas with fianchettoing the bishop and also threatening to start some kingside attacks in the future. Blackburn here continues with d4. We have e takes d4, knight takes d4, and bishop g7, putting a lot of pressure here on d4. The knight is attacked twice. You need to defend it with one more piece. So bishop to e3 and knight f6, attacking the central pawn, which is already defended. So bishop e2 continues developing, castling, and now knight to e7, probably maneuvering to help to push to d5. Bishop f3, trying to control d5, so many pieces controlling d5. d6 was played, and queen to d2, now making this battery on this dark squared diagonal. Knight d7 was played. Well, this moves the knight away from the pawn and from the bishop, but it seems like a passive approach for the opening, not what we are used to see when Steinitz is playing the opening. He is kind of lost in the opening ideas, and Blackburn continues his plan with bishop to h6, and we have knight to e5, bishop takes g7, and here Steinitz could have captured here with the check, but he prefers to play king takes g7, bishop e2, putting the bishop into safety, f6 was played, and f4 attacking the knight. Knight goes to f7, and now rook a to d1, so Blackburn keeps developing his pieces. c6 was played, and we can see that so far Wilhelm Steinitz has not passed the third rank here, which is very uncommon to see him playing so defensively, so passive like this. And now bishop to c4 with a very interesting idea. Bishop d7 was played, and now bishop takes f7, a very nice decision for Blackburn. Rook takes f7. Now his idea is that he wants to push f5, but if he does it now, the knight will gain some squares he can jump into. So Blackburn avoid this by playing bishop takes f7, and after rook takes f7, f5 now is played. The knight was played to c8. What's the point here? If the black captures here the pawn on f5, then the king is really exposed. I mean, there's nothing serious happening right now, but Steinitz preferred to avoid it by playing knight to c8, and now e5 here, a very strong move with some very nice ideas, tactical ideas. If pawn, this move was not played in the game. If pawn takes on e5, d takes e5, then knight to e6 is winning on the spot. The king and queen are forked, and the bishop is pinned, and he cannot capture the knight, otherwise the queen is hanging. So very nice move, e5. The game continues with f takes e5, and now knight e6 anyway. Bishop takes e6, f takes e6, rook goes to e7, but now queen to g5. So Blackburn is aiming the black king here. Queen to f6 is a threat. Queen to e8 was played, moving the queen away from this diagonal, so the rook is not pinned anymore, and the pawn on e6 is threatened. But the point is that Blackburn now makes this bomb in the board. Rook to d3, which is a very aggressive move. The game continues with rook takes e6, but now rook to h3, infiltrating in the position. h6 followed by h7 is a huge threat. Checkmate. So queen e7 was played, proposing the exchange of the queens and also defending on h7, but now queen h6, not going for the queen exchange, but still keeping pressure and attacking the king. King to g8 was played, and now white has mate in two moves here. If you want to pause the video now and try to find the mate in two here, it's worth trying it. Very nice position, and I'll just give you a couple seconds, and I hope you have found the sequence of moves of mate in two that starts with rook f8. Yes, the decoy. You're trying to decoy the queen now from the defense of the h7 pawn, so that's very nasty, and you cannot there's no way to escape from this because it's forced now. So queen takes rook, forced to move, and now queen takes h7, checkmate. A beautiful checkmate from Blackburn against Wilhelm Steinitz. Let's take a look at the stats on the chess.com report. Let's go. 96.2% precision for Joseph Henry Blackburn. Wow, what a game. And 49.5% accuracy for Wilhelm Steinitz. Not the best accuracy, not the accuracy he's used to doing, but that's why we saw this crushing game. I think maybe Wilhelm Steinitz's ideas on the opening may have caused him some problems, and we can see in the chart that there was no moment in the game that Blackburn was, worse than Steinitz, or he never had any problem during the game, and he dominated the game from the beginning to the end. So let's take a look at this chart. We can see here that Blackburn was kind of dominating the game, but at some moment Wilhelm Steinitz could have equalized things. Let's see, where did he lose the grip in the game? Let's see. What else could he have played instead of Queen d8? Maybe Knight to b6 was a possible idea here. But now the rook is guarding the queen and the pawn is really attacked now. So maybe after queen to f6 check and king to g8 and rook to f2, black could continue with d5, and black has a decent position here. Not the best position in the world, but a decent position. This pawn is really making a mess here. This is really annoying for black, but black is holding. After the move queen to e8, Blackburn came with this bomb, rook to d3, and the game was over. That's it, that's Blackburn, Joseph Henry Blackburn. I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have enjoyed this video, please consider leaving your thumbs up and also subscribing to the channel. Thank you so much for your audience, and see you next video.
Cavalo H5 no tabuleiro de xadrez. De xadrez.